Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, sir. I'm Balatian from PST and 1B, and I'm here to share my report about my infographics, communication flow and processes. So let's start with the what is communication. Communication is the process of sharing information, ideas, and feelings between people to create better understanding. For example, I will be giving a scenario. The student and teacher scenario inside the classroom. So the teacher is presenting a PPT presentation to the class while teaching and sharing information to his and her student, while the student are actively listening while having opinion, ideas, and etc. to create their understanding about the lesson. So let's move on to the communication process. We have 7 types of communication process. Let's start with the first, sender; second, encoding; 3, message; 4, channel; 5, decoding; 6, receiver; 7, and feedback. So what do we mean by sender? The person who has an idea or information to share. For example, what I'm doing right now is reporting. So I'm also giving an idea about my presentation here of my infographic, and I'm also sharing this to you guys. Second, coding: the sender translate the idea into words or symbol. For example, a teacher and student inside the classroom again scenario. The teacher translates the idea of the exact PPT to words and to symbol to create a better understanding to their students. 3, message: the information that is sent from the sender to the receiver. So what I'm doing right now is what I said is reporting. So this is the message that I'm reading. This is the message. Inside this presentation is also a message like this, and I'm also sharing this message to you. The information that is sent from the sender to the receiver. Next is channel, the medium used to deliver the message. It's either oral, written, non-verbal, and etc. So what I'm doing right now is oral communication because I'm speaking using my mouth. I'm not using any gestures like pointing, etc. So 5 is decoding. The receiver interprets the message. So for example, if Sir Brian already check my report video, he will interpret my message or my presentation to create a better understanding in order to him to grade my presentation. So receiver, yung 6, receiver, the person who receives the message. So Sir Brian, if you already check my report, he will be the receiver. Instead, sir, sorry for the cut. So let's move on to the 7. The receiver's response goes back to the sender. So for example, if Sir Brian already checked my reporting, he will give me a feedback or a comment inside our Google Classroom. So let's move on to the key elements for effective communication. We have 5. So the first is clarity, respect, relevance, timeliness, and feedback. Also feedback. So what do we mean by clarity? Be clear and specific with your message. For example, if you are reporting in front of the classroom, your presentation or your oral communication must be clear, proper grammar, and proper spelling, etc. to create a better understanding by your audience. So second is respect. Listen with an open mind and respect others. For the third person, while you're listening to your classmate while reporting in front, you must actively listen and pay attention to his or her report and be open-minded. Don't be negative to create a respect to them. So, third is keep relevance. Keep your message relevant to the audience. So me, I'm keep the relevant of my infographic about our discussion last week. So all of my information inside my infographic are came from our discussion. So I keep that in mind to avoid misunderstanding. So timeliness, share the message at the right time. And lastly, feedback, encourage responses and be open to them. So let's move on to the barriers to communication. We have 4: physical, psychological, semantic, and cultural. So basically, the physical is noise, distance, and distractions. By the psychological, we have also stress, emotion, and bias. Semantic, different meanings of words. And lastly, cultural differences. Cultural, meaning by that is differences in values and norms. Lastly is cultural differences in values and norms. Okay, first, physical, we have noise. What do we mean by noise? For example, I'm already reporting here but suddenly someone shouting outside my door, so it will create a noise and also be heard in this recording. So distance, for example, I moved to the another room here, and you guys not able to hear me clearly because I'm inside the another room. So lastly, distractions. So for example, today I'm reporting, but suddenly my mom is opening the door and calling me. That's the distractions. So with the physical, you have stress, emotions, and bias. For the stress, for example, you are already stressed or drained, you will not be able to be active listen, or you will not be able to understand what of the meaning of the message sent to you by the sender. Emotions, for example, you are angry. If you're angry, you will not be able to decide what will you do. You will be walk out or continue active listening. But if you are angry, you will not be able to listen the instruction or the information clearly. For the semantic, different meanings of words. So for example, of the semantic is the words are coming from deeper meaning or etc. And lastly, the cultural, differences in values and norms. What do we mean by culturals? Simple as that. Different language. Yes, that is the cultural for the values and norms. So that's all, guys, from my reporting, and I hope you understand my report, sir. And feel free to share feedback for me to improve myself. Thank you.